Hello and welcome to Jessie Bear Book Club. Today we are talking about Preston Jacobs' Winds of Winter fan fiction, the prologue. I know it's been a little bit since I reviewed one of these. I've just been busy with House of the Dragon and everything. I was happy to see that this episode was 44 minutes long, which is a good length because I know I complained about his first Daenerys one being too short. And I was happily surprised that he chose to bring back the Westerlings to the story, because they had kind of disappeared and I had been wondering if they were going to pop up again. I had also forgotten that the Westerlings had been given Castamere for their part in the Red Wedding, and I think many of us fans are wondering what happened to Jeyne Westerling. I was surprised he used a maester, but not overly because George R. R. Martin has used maesters for prologues in the past. However, a Vance maester sent me down the rabbit hole of looking everything up about the Vances. I didn't find anything overly exciting about the Vances. I thought perhaps they were going to be magical because this maester kept talking about the wall and whatnot. And one thing that really stood out is Jeyne seemed really uppity in this prologue and very different from the way she was in the books, especially in the last scene where we seen her with Jaime. She seemed very much on her dignity, and it just seemed a bit out of character. Did anyone else feel this way about the way Jeyne acted in this fanfiction? Also, Cersei's prophecy not being real. Preston really dives into the whole Maggie the Frog lore, and I'm not sure if I liked that. I'm a big Cersei fan, and we know prophecy is real in this universe, so would Cersei's prophecy not be real, or her trying to fulfill the prophecy is making it real? It's this horrible big circle, so I thought that didn't fit in. It didn't chime with the magic of the actual story, in my opinion. But then again, John Vance lighting a glass candle brought me back to perhaps the Vances are magical. I can see what Preston is doing with the Ravens and having characters named John, of course because John has been stabbed, but are the Vances magical? That is actually now all I want to know, and I can find no evidence that they are. But the best line of this episode was 100%, "Did you try to pleasure a glass candle?" That should be on a t-shirt. I want that on a t-shirt. I would wear that. Maybe not to work, but I would. The description of the Westerling castle was beautiful. All the decaying splendor put me in mind of villas in Spain and people who have lived there for years and years and years and have run out of money. So I really enjoyed that. The imagery was great, especially the seashells on the roof only just glittering because some of them haven't been painted or they've gone missing. Moving along to the Manticore venom. Of course, this being a prologue, we know that our POV character is going to die. That kind of went without saying, but Manticore venom killing Lord Westerling, Lady Sybil and her brother just seemed like overkill, and as if it had been lifted out of the show and the Preston was kind of wrap up the whole Westerling storyline in a nice bow. It didn't feel right to me. He should have maybe been killed by the other maester for trying to explore the higher mysteries, or killed because the Vances had betrayed the Lannisters and he was technically a hostage. I could have seen all of that. Manticore, not really. In a way it does make sense because they are traders and cargo is coming into the port along with people, so there would be opportunity. It just felt too showy for me. Too much Dumb and Dumber, like let's make the TV show really cool with this amazing like half scorpion spider bug. Also, Jaqen H'ghar being the culprit for the Manticore didn't feel right. He's in Old Town. We know he's in Old Town. He's not going to be leaving Old Town because there's going to be a big magical fight there. And I honestly think Jaqen has been sent to kill Daenerys when she arrives. I think she will dock in Old Town. The Braavosi hate dragons. This is known. It would also tie in if Daenerys did have the eggs that were bought by the Sea Lord of Braavos and that the eggs had been stolen by the Lord of Cheese. You know where I'm going with this. Now we come to one of the bits I did really like. That was the slavers going beyond the wall to pick up slaves. I thought it was a great touch. It tied into the Mother Mole prophecies and everything that went along with that, and the fact that slavers have been north of the wall before. However, does news travel that fast in the world of Ice and Fire? I don't think so. I think perhaps they could talk about boats going north and not knowing why, and then maybe the Maester being like, oh, you're so dumb, of course they're going for slaves, but not saying anything. Overall, this has definitely been my favourite Preston Jacobs chapter so far. He is finding his groove and they're flowing better. He's tying in more stuff, but I've always felt he's trying to tie in too much stuff and they don't feel 100% right to me, but they never will because they're not written by George. But it is still a supreme effort and I am enjoying every bit of it. Next week I am going to be reviewing Elaine 2, which I'm quite apprehensive about because Sansa is one of my favourite characters. Until then, like this video to help me out with the tyrannical YouTube algorithm, leave a comment with your thoughts on Preston Jacobs chapters, and subscribe so you don't miss Elaine 2 next week. You can also follow me on Instagram at Lady Jessica Riddell. Until next time, winter is coming. Bye!